Good morning, everyone. We are so honored to have everyone here to recognize National Income Tax Credit Awareness Day to all those who celebrate, which I guess is all of you, correct? Yep. And what's amazing is this is also the EITC's 50th birthday. So I'm not going to make you sing happy birthday, but Robin might. I'm just saying. Just saying. My name is Sarah Johnson, and I am the co-founder and COO of the Cash Campaign of Maryland. We are a statewide nonprofit, and the cash in our name stands for creating assets, savings, and hope. I'm thrilled we have such a distinguished guest here today. Thank you to everyone for coming. I don't want to take up too much time because I know you want to hear from them as well. But first, I want to thank and recognize the leadership team here at UMBC. They truly share a commitment to financial empowerment for their students and for the community. They are an amazing tax site partner. Hopefully, folks, as you were walking in, had a chance to see the tax site set up. They do really great work. I especially want to thank Tricia Wells, the Assistant Vice President, and she's the Free Tax Prep Site Coordinator, and her leadership really has made this happen. I also want to recognize Dr. Yvette Mosey-Ross, the Vice Provost of Enrollment Management and Planning. I want to give a shout out to her student leadership, her Financial Smart program, doing amazing work here. I've heard about it, and it's very inspiring, and I just want to thank you for helping make all this happen as well. To the UMBC president, Dr. Valerie Shares Ashby, thank you so much for hosting us and for being a tremendous partner. We really, really appreciate it. There's a few other people I just want to quickly recognize. Serena Coates-Gold, who is with the Director of Cash Programs at DHS. We are really excited to work with DHS and the Department of Social Services to launch 2 new tax sites this year in partnership with the amazing Maryland Core Program, which we do a lot of financial education with them. And Governor, it is a tremendous program, and we are so proud to be a partner in this, and to have them at our tax sites is going to be a new day. I'm very excited about it. I want to also recognize Annie Radner, the Chief of Staff at the Maryland Benefit Exchange. Thank you so much. There's a huge connection between health and wealth and success, and we want to make sure that people get connected to health insurance as well as all the financial benefits. So thank you for being here. But I want to also just give you a little bit of information about cash before I turn it over. For anyone that doesn't know, the cash stands for creating assets, savings, and hope. And we always emphasize hope here at this press conference. And I think we really need a lot of that right now. We've been around for 24 years. This isn't just something we made up the other day, right? We've been at this, building our reputation and building this work in the community for a long time. We're a statewide coalition. We have partners all across the state doing this work. And together, in these years, we have served over 285,000 households with free tax preparation. This has brought over $420 million back in refunds and tax credits. So this is not a little drop in a bucket. This is a lot of money in people's pocket. Last year in the Baltimore metro area, including this tax site here at UMBC, we served over 8,000 families with about $11.7 million in refunds and tax credits going back to this community. At Tax Time, we do a lot of work to also connect people to other financial services. So we make sure people are connected to health insurance. We make sure they're connected to legal services. We make sure they're screened for public benefits. We also make sure they're taking advantage of direct deposit so they can e-file and get connected to a safe bank account through our Bank on Maryland program. We really want people to earn it, keep it, and save it. It's part of what we talk about all the time. So here's the good news. The Earned Income Tax Credit works. It works for families, it helps them boost their income, and when you couple that with safe financial products, it helps families get ahead. This is the commercial, right? This is a press conference, so let's listen up. Help us get the word out. If you made $67,000 or less last year, you may qualify. If someone in your neighborhood, someone at your faith community, please make sure you're letting people know about the cash campaign. Don't let families get ripped off going to predatory places. People can visit our website, BeMoreFreeTaxes.org. They can also call 410-234-8008 to make an appointment. Now I'd like to introduce my partner in making good trouble, Robin McKinney.
The worst golf clap I have heard in 10 years. Good morning, UMBC. All right. We need more energy in the tax game, guys. We're not known for it. We have to bring it. We have to overcorrect all of the stereotypes that are against us. So good morning. I'm Robin McKinney. I'm the co-founder and CEO of the Cash Campaign. Sarah and I run this ship together. That is different. There are two of us at the top, and we highly recommend it, let us tell you. So I'm here to talk a little bit about our legislative work as it connects to all of this, because the EITC is policy in action. It's policy in people's pockets. So in 2003, Maryland passed Governor Moore's Family Prosperity Act, which created the most generous EITC in the country, ensuring that almost 500,000 taxpayers have a fighting chance for financial freedom and to move out of poverty. This includes 100,000 taxpayers right here in Baltimore City and Baltimore County. Just between those two, over 20% of all of the EITC claims in that right here in Baltimore City and Baltimore County. It also created a modest tax cut, a child tax credit, which the governor is proposing to enhance in his current budget, which we think will begin to truly reduce childhood poverty. Now, we know that Maryland is facing a serious budget crisis this year. If legislators don't take action this session, we could lose funding for our public schools, transportation projects, and important state programs that people rely on. Our tax system has become out of balance for far too long. Working people continue to shoulder a disproportionate amount of the tax burden, while our state continues to face budget uncertainties and cycles of deep budget cuts. It's time for a change. Our state leaders need to reform the tax system in a way that is fair to everyone without raising taxes on our hardworking Marylanders. Today, we stand with the tax credits for Maryland families, as well as Fair Share Maryland, to ensure that workers and families can move from getting by to getting ahead. And we hope you'll join us. Some information in your chair about Fair Share, as well as the tax credits for Maryland families. So Sarah, back to you.
Well, she didn't make you sing happy birthday, so you're welcome. I also just really quickly, before I bring up our next speaker, want to say a heartfelt thank you to our cash team. If folks can raise your hands, please. Trust me, this does not happen without some amazing hard work of this team that is busy training hundreds of volunteers, getting these sites up and going. I also want to thank our board of directors, many of them here. Please raise your hand. Thank you very much for being here and for your leadership of the Cash Campaign. We really appreciate it. I'd like to welcome the UMBC president, Dr. Valley Shears Ashby, to say a few remarks.
Thank you, Robin, and thank you also to Sarah for your vision, for your leadership, and for your sustained commitment. You know, UMBC is only, it's a young institution, I like to say. It's the same age as I am. I won't tell you. It's a young institution. It's 58 young years, but you've been doing this for 24 of those 58 years. That's a serious commitment to our community, and so thank you again. We are truly grateful. I also want to say just welcome to UMBC, to all of our attendees, to members of the press. We are delighted to have you here. To representatives from the Cash Campaign, to the volunteer tax preparers, and to the recipients of the free financial service, welcome to UMBC. I have to call out a few special people sitting behind me here. To Governor Wes Moore, we and I continue to be inspired by your vision and by your commitment to every Marylander. That's why we come to work every day at UMBC, and so we're just inspired. We are not going to leave any Marylander behind. And so thank you for your work. To Comptroller Learman, thank you for your continued dedication to Maryland and for your partnership on many efforts with UMBC. We are very grateful. To Congressman Mvume, who's a hero for me. I've known him before I came into Maryland. I've known of him before I came into Maryland. Sir, we are delighted to have you on our campus, and just thank you for what you've done for decades for the people. And so I also want to thank one of our alums, Johnny O, that's what we call him. But he is now Congressman Olszewski, and he is a retriever. And so we are delighted, sir. Congratulations to you, and thank you for being here. Thank you. And to our new county executive in her first month, Kathy Klausmeyer, thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to have you on our campus, and we look forward to engaging with you. And so for all of you, again, welcome to UMBC. We are honored and proud to host this event today. Like the Cash Campaign, UMBC is in the business of helping Marylanders get the future that they deserve. And what we know for UMBC is that we would not be this institution if we were not in this particular community. We benefit from being in Baltimore City and Baltimore County every single day. And so our students have this amazing opportunity to give something back to the community from which we benefit on a daily basis. And if you've met any of our students, they are simply extraordinary. These are students who care deeply about the community, who care deeply about the diversity that is in our community, who come from a number of different economic backgrounds, some of which had no financial literacy before they showed up to UMBC, and they have taken the opportunity to not only learn and do the 10 hours of training, but to then want to give that back to people in our community. And so I'm just grateful that you all are here for the launch. It is at the core of what we do. When you drove in, you might have seen a sign that said, "We welcome and inspire inquisitive minds from all backgrounds." Isn't that beautiful? And this is a part of that. And so again, welcome to UMBC. We are delighted to have all of you who are here with us. And what I would like to do is to encourage anyone who is eligible for this program to come to UMBC and let our kind, caring, humble, but brilliant students help you do your taxes. So thank you so much. We want to help people keep their money. I'm for people keeping their money. So thank you all for being here. It is a delight to have you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, I would love to hear from one of these amazing smart students. They are amazing. The Tax Eye Coordinator here at UMBC, Senior Riaz Chaudhry. Would you please come up?
Good morning, UMBC. Thank you so much to Cash Campaign as well as UMBC for allowing me to speak here amongst an incredibly dignified group of individuals. I am the president as well as the student site coordinator of UMBC's free tax prep program. So when I think UMBC free tax prep program, I just think of how many amazing clients that we are able to help each and every single day that we operate. I started doing this program in my first year here, and being in my fourth year now, I'm able to see how many people we help each and every single year. Each and every single year, there are so many people that are stressed out because of tax season. We know that tax season is an incredibly stressful time for taxpayers as well. And each and every single year, it's our opportunity to help these taxpayers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. These are some unique volunteers and students. It's the dark of January, and we're talking about hours of training and the snow. Trust me, it did snow this year, uphill both ways. So I am so impressed with the dedication of our volunteers. They are really the backbone of our work. The man who needs no introduction, Governor Wes Moore.
Thanks so much. Good morning, everybody. It is a joy to be here, and first I want to say to Sarah and Rob and the entire Cash team, God bless y'all. Thank you for this work. Thank you for the push. Thank you for the dedication. Thank you for everything that you all continue to do just to make life a little bit easier and more affordable for the people of this state, and how that translates beyond. We would not be here had it not been for your leadership and your work. And I have to tell you, Rob, I could not agree with you more. We have a distinct responsibility in this moment to adjust this tax code. We have a distinct responsibility to make sure that we can have a tax code that is simpler, that is fairer, that is pro-growth, and for the vast majority of Marylanders, lower, that we have a unique chance to do it, and we couldn't do it without your help. And so I just want to say we appreciate you. You know, I appreciate everybody here. This is not what change looks like. This is what's required. Right? When you literally have every sector of our society who is here doing this work, when you have local leadership, when you have our federal leadership, when you have state leadership, when you have community groups, when you have an amazing university that stands as not just an anchor of this event, but also an anchor of this, the improvement of lives all throughout this state. And when you have amazing students. And Riaz, I just want to give you a shout out, man, because there's a million things that he could be doing right now. There's a million places you could be. You and all the other fellow students who right now are helping people prepare their taxes. But you're choosing to fight on behalf of Maryland's future. You're choosing to make sure that we can make things a little bit easier for the people of this state. You're choosing to make sure that people can get a little extra money in their pockets and keep that money in their pockets. You're doing that. And I want to just say how much we appreciate your leadership and, frankly, your commitment to making our society better. God bless you, man, and thank you for all you continue to do, sincerely. And I'm gonna be brief, but I tell you, I'm so thankful for this moment, because it is true. I mean, when before I ever decided that I wanted to, run for governor, I ran one of the largest poverty fighting organizations in this country. And one of the big things that we worked on was actually working to make adjustments on the CTC, the child tax credit on the federal side, because we knew the impact that could actually make when you're able to actually do things like the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit. And so it should not have been a surprise to anybody that one of the first bills that we introduced when the administration came on board was actually making sure that we can have an enhanced earned income tax credit, enhanced child tax credit, and making it to where we could have, the most generous inside of this country. Here's what matters, though. You can pass all the bills you want. You can make all the adjustments in the code that you want. If people do not understand how that benefits their lives, if people cannot actually turn that policy into something that actually keeps money inside their pockets, you could have something where a child tax credit or earned income tax credit is one of the best child poverty fighting programs in this country, but if people are not benefiting from it, it will never be known. That's why this work comes in. That's why this collaboration matters so much. That's why the work that's been done, and I want to give a shout out to our comptroller for her leadership on the Earned It campaign, making sure that people go and earn it, and they're getting the benefits that their situation merits. A shout out to all the members of the Moore-Miller administration who have been working diligently throughout multiple departments. When we said this was going to be an all-of-government approach, I think every department agency in the Moore-Miller administration are showing, no, that's actually mean that. It is an all-of-government approach. All the people who are giving up their time to make sure that people are getting the supports that their financial situation merits. It doesn't just help them. It helps our state. It helps us to grow. It helps our economy to be rejuvenated. Because when you can have more people receiving the benefits that they earn and more people participating in the economy, you will have a growing economy, which means you will have a growing state. This is crucial. This work is necessary. And the commitment to it, Cash Campaign, we just want to say thank you. Because today, our state just got better. So God bless you guys. And thank you for all you continue to do to make this Maryland's decade and make sure that we leave no one behind. God bless you guys, and thank you.
Thank you, Governor. We really appreciate it. See, he just said taxes and tax code is cool. So if the governor said it, it's got to be true, right? I'd like to introduce one of our tax prep clients, Ms. Williams, to come and talk a little bit about her experience. Welcome.
Good morning, Maryland.
Good morning.
Now, my name is Jeanette Williams, and I have been a beneficiary of the cash program for a number of years. I used to live in Baltimore City, an area called Irvington, and I saw a PSA on the television about the cash program. I called and I made an appointment, and I was blessed to go to the Enoch Pratt Library on Cathedral to have my taxes done. It's a beautiful, aesthetically pleasing building, by the way. If you haven't been, go check it out. I wanted to say also that it was a well-organized, well-functioning, and quick and efficient program when I got there. They had a number of people there who had vastly more complicated taxes than mine, but they didn't turn anyone away. They explained what they needed, and they made reappointments for people to come back and get their taxes done. A lot of folks don't understand all the ins and outs and complicated aspects of having their taxes done. Simple things, bring your Social Security card, all that stuff. People don't really know that, and this team there took the time to walk people through it and welcome them back to get it done. Now, I will say, I have enjoyed it. During the COVID situation, while Cash was on hiatus, I had to unfortunately go to a nationally known tax prep firm. What Cash has been doing for me at no charge suddenly cost me over $300 to get done. I want to tell you, for moderate to modest income households, that's a big chunk of money. It's not something they can afford to just throw away. There was no communication about savings or bonds like Cash does. There was no communication about how to best apply and use your refund if you received one. Those are things that matter to people who are well-intentioned but lack the information. I really want to encourage people to know Cash or the Baltimore Cash system or Vita, however they are communicated, is a really good, beneficial program to modest to moderate income household. I don't like calling people poor because they're not poor. They may be a little cash strapped, but they're not poor. And they deserve the respect as if they were a millionaire because that money matters to them. Now, it's tough following the governor, I gotta say. When I saw my name behind his, I was like, Lord, give me strength. Because he is good at what he does. He communicates well. I'm not going to take up much more time. I was given a certain amount of time to talk to you. I'm so grateful that you all came. Because to me, each of you care, not only about our state, which is, to me, a big deal to me. I love Maryland. I'm very fond of Maryland. But you care about the people of Maryland. No matter what their ranking, no matter what their income, you care about Marylanders. And no matter what ends up happening, Marylanders stick together. We are here for each other. And Cash shows that. They are here for us. Let's be here for them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Thank you so much. I next would like to welcome Congressman Kwesi Mflume to come and speak. Last year, he got to show up in a Ravens jersey. This year, he's still sporting his Purple Friday, which I appreciate. Thank you so much for your leadership in Congress. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Sarah. Good morning, everybody. She's absolutely right. I was decked out last year. We were on our way to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs, and you know the rest of the story. So in honor of my team and Maryland's team, I decided I'd find some other purple today to be here with you. I want to thank Sarah and Robin for having the vision 24 years ago to do something that was absolutely needed and essential, and to do it not for their own gain or for their own purpose, but to be able to help people help themselves. That's the bottom line of the Cash campaign. And I want to thank all of you who are here who have not been identified, who work with this campaign day in and day out, who give of your time and your energy, and then go out and make sure people like Riaz and others get an opportunity to see what it's like to give back at an early age. So congratulations up front for the 24 years. And I look forward, like so many others here today, to be able to celebrate again next year. Madam President, thank you for having us in your house. I do appreciate it. I agree with you that this is a young university. But when you get to be my age, you can say this is a young state. I'm almost tempted to say I was around at the time the state was founded, but we won't go down that path. But Valerie, thank you for your leadership, for your stewardship of this institution, and for your friendship. The governor had to leave, but let me just acknowledge the work that he's done, some of which you've heard, particularly with the child tax credit, trying to get that back into this year's budget. I do want to also take a moment to say that Mayor Scott is not here yet. I assume he's going to try to get here. His heart is here. And he, every year, finds a way to support this effort. Some of you have seen him on TV doing the public service announcement, encouraging people all across the region to take advantage of that. Thank you so much, Brandon, and thank you for all your support you've given. Now, the new county executive is here, and Kathy, it's good to see you. Kathy and I go way back to when I was doing local TV in Baltimore and had a talk show, and she was a regular contributor to that. I'm so happy for you. I have not had an opportunity to see you since this elevation, but we know that you're going to do great things because you're a great person. I'm glad for you. Thank you, Kathy. Now, Brooke Learman, you know, most states say, we've got a tax man. Maryland says, we have a tax lady. Yeah, that's a big deal. You're not going to find too many around the country who brings a different temperament to the job. Not just the leadership, but the understanding and a temperament for people who are out here struggling on the issue of taxes. Thank you, Brooke. We know where your heart is. I'm glad so much that you are here. And I just want to say to my partner in crime in the United States Congress, Congressman Olszewski, we're so glad you're there. This is your first month, but you bring a wealth of knowledge and understanding all over the Capitol now. People are learning how to say, Johnny O. I'm telling you, it caught on the very first day. And well, he and I serve on a committee together and are looking forward to all that we can do to support the efforts here, Robin, of you and Sarah and everyone else. Ms. Williams, you can come behind the governor any day. You were doing all right. That was me that was yelling back there. I said, you're doing all right. Yes, indeed. Now I got to come behind you see? I met Ms. Williams when I came in. We had a brief conversation, and the first thing she said to me is that she was so happy to be a recipient of what the cash program offers and how it made a real difference in her life, and that she didn't want to be anywhere else today but right here to be able to tell her story. And you told it very, very well. And I agree with you. People are not poor. They may be cash poor, but they're spirit rich. And we've got to find a way to do that, to remind people of that so that they, in fact, are indeed elevated. Now, one quick thing and I'll get out of your way. Gail Economos, thank you for rounding us up every year like you do. I only have about 13,680 emails and text messages. I'm still going through them. I know you sent some this morning. But it works. It works. And if the governor was still here, I was going to remind him that when he was a little young buck over at Hopkins matriculating, that he used to volunteer with the March and Dimes program. And you smack his hand when he didn't do the right thing. So see how we've all grown up over time? But thank you, Gail, for all that you do. Now, one thing that for me is really not a laughing matter, and that is what this current administration in the White House is attempting to do to people who may be cash poor and spirit rich, and all of us that are in between with this rollback of so many initiatives and programs. You saw it yourself. It's only been 10 or 11 days, but it is not people friendly, and it is not the sort of thing that helps the people that you are helping each and every day. So the idea that you want to suspend the SNAP program, and the latest today is to say that you can't even buy ice cream if you're a recipient. They're determining what you can buy with the SNAP money. The fact that Head Start is threatened, that the Medicare porthole was shut down, the Medicaid portal, and only reopened when a judge got in and issued a restraining order. Those sort of things, LIHEAP and all the other programs, that people who have limited income, who are able to get cash back as a result of the service that you provide, those services they need. And as sure as I'm standing here, I will fight with every ounce in my body to push this president back off of the things that go against people in this nation, in this city, and in this state who deserve to be treated fair. We're not going to roll over it. And so I hope that they're prepared for the fight that's ahead, because programs like this all over the country have to be supported. The people who you represent and who you give so much to each and every day need to have allies. And it's our duty, when we know right from wrong, to speak up against that which is wrong and to fight like hell for that which is right. So I'm so glad that I'm fighting for you. We're going to, again, protect the child tax credit on the federal level. We're going to make sure that the efforts that are underway now, as we speak, in committees to undo so many things that you've worked for will not, in fact, take place. So thank you for having me. Sorry to get a little emotional, but this was a tough fight, and we need tough people for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. Thank you so much. We appreciate you and your honesty. I want to introduce Congressman Johnny Olszewski. That's fun to say. Do I get to call you Congressman Johnny O now? Okay, all right. Just making sure that's legit. I don't want to get in trouble from Gail. Congressman, thank you so much for being here today. You've been to many of our press conferences, and it's a joy to see you again as a congressman. Please.
I feel like this is a little bit of a setup. There's a cascade of talent. Now I have to follow not only President Shears Ashby, Governor Moore, Miss Williams, Congressman Nfume. I mean, we're blessed that we have so many talented people in this state that care so passionately and so deeply about these issues, because these issues are critically important as we think about opportunity and hope for so many of our residents. So I'm excited to be here at UMBC, where I was pleased and honored to earn my PhD. Go Retrievers. But again, the fact that you have the governor of this state, the comptroller of this state, the county executive, 2 members of Congress, a university president, I think it really speaks volumes to the importance of this work. And we have seen over these past 24 years just how good the cash campaign is, saving Marylanders $81 million in filing fees. And that doesn't count the $12 million that we mentioned, over 8,000. Think about that. 8,000 families in the Baltimore region, almost $12 million back in the pockets of hardworking Americans, hardworking Marylanders. Think about what that means for every family that's looking to get that next credential and advance their career, looking to have access to childcare or work through an automobile purchase. I mean, untold stories of how this really moves our state and our country forward. As was mentioned, this is my first time attending this event as a United States congressman. I'll first say how lucky I am to have such, I'll say, seasoned but also passionate partner in the Baltimore region in Congressman Nfume. I am blessed to come into this work, to have not just Kwaizi, but especially you, Congressman, but so many others who have welcomed me to this work and who are standing alongside us as we not only support the great work here, but also continue to expand things like the earned income tax credit, the child tax credit at the federal level, as we don't forget that things like paid leave matter, things like affordable housing matters, childcare matters, creating jobs, creating pathways to opportunity all matters, and it's all integrated. I think Congressman Nfume started to put his thumb on it. It's been 27 days since I've been a member of Congress, and that we've taken several votes on very controversial bills. But what I can tell you is there hasn't been one vote taken in the United States Congress to lower cost of living for working Americans. There hasn't been one bill put forward that creates a pathway to job or that puts money back into the pockets of hardworking Americans. In fact, we've seen the exact opposite of that with actions, as the congressman mentioned, like this freeze of funding. That's taking money out of the pockets of hardworking Americans. And so we are steadfast in our belief that we should not only support the cash campaign and the work here, but that we have to keep supporting our comptroller and our governor at the state level, our county executive and our mayor at the local level. And we're going to keep fighting, like you said, Congressman, fighting like hell to push back against this chaos and division and also uplift those other needs. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you again for the incredible work that you do. And thanks to these incredible partners. God bless.
And if memory serves me, which it usually doesn't, I think you found out at our tax event last year that Mr. Roethlisberger was retiring, was not seeking another term. So really, we are your good luck charm. That's what I'm hearing. I'm glad we're all very much in agreement about that. So we actually have 3 members of Congress here. Congressman Sarah Elfreth couldn't be here, but we have a representative from her staff. And what is exciting for us also about this team that we have, including the comptroller, right, and including the county executive Klossmeyer, is these are folks that we know from our General Assembly. And so, who's a delegate today or a state senator today, gets elevated into these other positions. And I think it's just so incredible that we have folks that understand what it takes to make laws at the local level, at the state level, and then into the federal positions at the same time. So I think we're really lucky here. So with that, I will introduce you to Congressman Elfreth's senior field representative, Danielle. Come on up.
Good morning, everyone. Morning. It's a great honor to be here joining such distinguished guests today. On behalf of Congresswoman Elfreth, I would like to thank the Cash Campaign for the invitation. Congresswoman Elfreth regrets that she could not make it this morning, but she would like to express her support for the mission of this organization. Our tax system and financial system can seem like the mysterious web to many people in our country, especially those who aren't earning a lot of money. We are so appreciative of the Cash Campaign for their work helping people navigate this system and delivering services to those who need it the most. Our office is very supportive of your mission and is eager to work with you. Thank you.
Thanks so much. And please send her our best. Though we miss you guys when you leave Annapolis too, but it's fine. It's fine. It's good to have good people in other places. So next, I'm excited to introduce our comptroller, Brooke Learman. I think we need a ladies love taxes, sort of we need a theme song or something. Let's workshop it and figure that out. But it has just been such a breath of fresh air to have you in the office and to have you in partnership. So with that, Comptroller Learman.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Sarah. It is such an honor to be here and such a pleasure to have the opportunity to work with Cash Campaign in a new way after being a delegate. And my very first event as comptroller was actually this event 2 years ago in the UMB Community Center. So it's always great to be here with you, and it sort of marks a passing of time. And it's great to be with, I almost said Senator Klossmeyer, County Executive Klossmeyer, and our members of Congress and our president. Thank you all so much for being here. Again, I'm Brooke Learman, honored to serve as the 34th comptroller of the state of Maryland. But, I was thinking about this. What if I introduced myself and said to folks, hi, I'm the tax collector in Maryland, and I run the largest and most effective anti-poverty program in government. Most people would look at me and think, wait, you're the tax collector. You don't give us money, you take it. But the folks in this room know, that the Earned Income Tax Credit is just that. It is so respected and lauded by people across the political spectrum because it has, one, consistently demonstrated the ability to increase economic mobility. Two, it reduces poverty amongst Americans and American families in particular. And three, It rewards working people. We are trying to make life a little easier for those who are working hard to get by. And our vision for the Office of the Comptroller is to work in partnership to create a state that is more equitable, more resilient, and more prosperous so that every Marylander can reach their full potential. The EITC is central to achieving that vision. In 2023, the average EITC benefit was $1,100 for Maryland residents who qualified. And yet, the number of Marylanders who were eligible for the EITC but didn't claim it was over 180,000 Marylanders. Marylanders are leaving money on the table, and we want to get to the bottom of why and what can be done to shrink the share of unclaimed credits. Now, my agency is a team of 1,200 dedicated public servants, some of whom are joining us here today, including our agency's very first taxpayer advocate, Elena Folk. So we're delighted to introduce her here. Yep. And this year, we are working, our team of 1,200 are working and leaning into key partnerships that will help Marylanders keep more of their hard-earned money. First, a key partnership is with the IRS and an important nonprofit called Code for America. This week, 30 million Americans, including nearly 1 million Marylanders, began filing their federal and state tax returns for free using IRS Direct File, an online platform that saves users time and money when they are filing their taxes. We are so proud to be one of the 25 states partnering with the IRS and working with Code for America to ensure that we can offer direct file to Marylanders. We believe that 870,000 Marylanders will be eligible to use this free, secure, online platform that's available in English and in Spanish. But we're also so grateful for those who don't want to use direct file or can't use direct file to our partners like the Cash Campaign and all VITA organizations across the state, helping ensure that residents can file their tax returns and claim their hard-earned credits, which is so essential. Our second key partnership is with our other elected officials. A huge shout out to the Moore-Miller administration, especially to Carmel Martin, who I think is here somewhere, and her amazing team in the Governor's Office of Children. Also to our federal and local elected officials who are helping make sure that people know that they can claim the Earned Income Tax Credit. The governor mentioned in his remarks a new campaign that we have launched, the Earned It campaign, making sure that people can see and know and understand how powerful the EITC can be for them and for their families. And finally, today, I am really proud to announce the launch of a new partnership, a partnership with the renowned Urban Institute. This research partnership will help us better understand the barriers that prevent low-income Marylanders from accessing individual income tax credits. Over the next 6 months, my agency, and led by our policy team, including Danny DePietro, who is here, will work with Urban Institute researchers who are here today, raise your hands, to analyze tax data to identify areas of the state where Marylanders are most commonly missing the EITC and the child tax credit. We will convene focus groups, talk with individuals around the state, talk with experts and nonprofits, with the help of our public engagement team, to learn more about individual awareness of tax credits and their experiences with the tax system that either help or stop them from claiming these important credits. We will produce a playbook of best practices, not just for the Office of the Comptroller of Maryland, but for tax collectors, revenue administrators across the country, so that across the country we can improve uptake of the Earned Income Tax Credit. I want to stress that we cannot create a state that's more equitable, more resilient, and more prosperous if Marylanders do not have access to the resources, tools, and education they need to uplift themselves, their families, and their communities. You may know the quote by James Baldwin, who once said, "Anyone who has ever struggled with poverty knows how extremely expensive it is to be poor." We know that too. We want to make sure that anybody who's struggling gets the tools they need, has the education they need to take hold of those tools and use them to uplift themselves, but also future generations. So I'm so proud and delighted to be here today. Thank you for all of the partnership, and I look forward to continuing it. Onwards. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I keep looking at the list going, God, we have so many besties. So many besties. I'm really excited to introduce, for the first time at this event, first timer. We should have done like medals or something. That would have been cute. Again, let's workshop that for next year. Baltimore County Kathy Klossmeyer, who is a good friend of Cash Campaign long before she stepped into these large shoes of Johnny O. And we are very excited to have her in this new position. And thank you so much for being here with us.
Am I last? Oh, I'm not last. Oh, darn. I was going to be the, what do they call that in baseball? The closer. I'll be the closer. And my clothes are baseball. And I need to go after this afternoon to an Oriole rally. So I just want you all to forget the purple for a while and look forward to opening day and springtime for the Orioles with their training. So with that, I just would like to also, I guess we're here to talk about Cash Campaign and free income tax. That's what this is all about. But I'm going to go, since this is my first time out in a big group like this with many astute people here behind me. And I just would like to say good morning to everyone. And it's a pleasure to see so many of my friends. And I say my friends because I was lucky enough to meet Robin 24 years ago. And we're almost related in a sense too, so that is really good. But she brought along with Sandy, Sarah. See, and because I've never met Sarah until today, because she's been in the background and not coming to Annapolis, but sorry about that. But anyway. It's been a pleasure over all of these years to work with the Cash Campaign, and I see many of my friends there in the audience, and they have been so dedicated to the people of Maryland to try to save them money, to tell banks they should take the money and save it for them, and every other thing there can be about cash and what we can do. And I have to say, my shoes are being filled with the congressman because we worked on several bills together when we worked in the legislature to help working men and women in this state. So this is going to be my station identification, and I couldn't be prouder to say this, and I hope more people hear this, and I will be working on this in the county to make sure that people are aware of this opportunity for their free tax preparation services that the Cash Campaign will be providing for Baltimore County residents at the Randallstown branch of the Baltimore County Public Library, the Department of Social Services in Towson, and the Apartment Community Center of UMBC in Catonsville. And thank you very much for having that here. And the appointment-only sites are an opportunity for our residents to speak with our financial planners, access earned benefits, and learn more about how they can use this refund to support their family and community. And that will be said many times between now and April 15th from the county executive's office. And I highly encourage any of our residents and you all to explain to them to do this, to take advantage of the opportunities, then we look forward to continuing support of this campaign for years to come. And one thing I would like to say is to Sarah, and what was your name? I forgot. The Riddler. I just want to say thank you to Robin and Sarah for having the vision 24 years ago. And I think you need to write a book, and I would like to just find out about how you did it and why you did it, because I guess the why is, maybe we all know that why, but we're going to try to do this and get other people to follow in your footsteps. So I applaud both of you very much so, and I've always been proud to know you. So thank you very much.
That's an open bar conversation, I think, of how we did everything. So we're social workers, yes. So our last speaker, I will hold him here, was going to be Mayor Scott. He unfortunately had to deal with a very urgent issue in the city today that you may see on the news if you're not watching this. But I wanted to shout out Liz Kuntz, who's here. Wave, there she is, who's here representing him. The mayor has just been such an incredible partner of CASH. He always cuts PSAs for them. That's probably the one that you saw. People come into our tax sites all the time and say that they saw it. He'll show up to Money Power Day. He's just really supportive of our events, and also trusted the CASH campaign to run the Guaranteed Income pilot program that we just wrapped in the city a couple months ago. And we just had our first homeowner, guys, on Sunday. So very exciting. So just incredible program. So thank you to him. So as you can see, it takes every level of government, the private sector, and the community to ensure that every eligible worker in the state of Maryland gets access to the EITC and free tax preparation. We know the IRS, the Comptroller's Office, and our VITA sites are already experiencing extreme demand. So we want to work with all of you to unlock refunds for all of the workers in Maryland. I think direct file is a huge opportunity to help all of the pressure that we are feeling at our tax sites, that the Comptroller's Office is feeling at their sites. This is a government website that Code for America is worked with the states to make it as easy as possible to file your state return, not just your federal return. And I just want to give another enormous thanks to our staff and volunteers who make this season go. So just another shout out, guys, to the CASH staff. Raise your hands if you got them. These are the people day in and day out who make it happen, and also just make this work really fun. I know that you think we're super boring. I get that. Like, we just talk about money and taxes all the time. You guys are exhausting. We are so fun. And we have a lot of fun doing this work. We care deeply, but it doesn't have to be boring. And that's why we need you to be messengers to help us get the word out. Taxes are fun. That's a hard thing to sell, guys, but I believe in you. Again, we'll just like workshop a mascot. Maybe we'll work on it. And thank you to UMBC for your partnership and for hosting us. And so now it's your turn. Go to bemorefreetaxes.org or call 410-234-8008. You got to sing song it in your head, 410-234-8008, so that you don't forget it when you tell people. Get connected to get your taxes done for free. Do your own tax return through the IRS direct file system. And just thank you so much for our wonderful speakers, electeds, and thank you for being here today.